Thanks for joining us. And in our first story, police in Swami in Kumasi are investigating claims that a food vendor at the Swami magazine has been selling plastic rice. Ya Amankwa was picked up and later released by the police on Monday morning. Artisans at Swami magazine raised the alarm after buying from the popular vendor. It comes in less than 4 months after officials or the Food and Drugs Authority dismissed reports that rice produced out of plastic material is in circulation. Ohiming Terrier reports.
Artisans at the Swami magazine suspect the already cooked rice may be contaminated with artificial components. Some of them have been buying from the vendor who has been operating in a small store. The reason for the suspicion is that the rice bounces when it is cooked, squeezed, and thrown on the floor.
I heard reports of plastic rice being sold here. I didn't believe it. I sent one of my boys to buy some of the commodity for me in order to ascertain the truth or otherwise. When I scooped and squeezed on the ground, it bounced to confirm my suspicion.
The regional office of the Ghana National Association of Garages was notified, leading to the arrest of the woman. Chairman of Zone 18 Nassau magazine, Kwame Amwa, says artisans are living in fear after reports of alleged plastic rice was reported. According to him, the leadership of the association has summoned food vendors in the area into a meeting this week.
The issue of this rice is getting a big problem to our members. That's why I want to meet all food vendors. Yes, that's why we notify the regional body, and the regional body call the CIDs and take matter up.
But the woman at the center of the controversy, Akosia Mankwa, is surprised at the claim. According to her, she has been serving her customers with the same rice for some time now. All the rice she cooked on Thursday was sold out.
The rumor of the alleged sale of plastic rice has not affected my business in any way. None of my customers has come here to complain. My food got sold out as at 8:30 a.m. earlier than anticipated today. Police say they'll carry out laboratory tests on the rice. I know the truth will come out and I'll be exonerated.
The Regional Police Command says a sample of the rice has been sent to the Food and Drugs Authority for further examination. But sources close to the FDA have rubbished the claim of the presence of the plastic rice in Ghana, though the office is yet to receive the samples. From Kumasi for Joy News, Ohiming Terrier reporting.
Back to Accra now, where another faction to the Gamanche stool has issued a stern warning to government, barring them from meddling in the Ga chieftaincy matters. Representing Boni Nitaki Adamalache II, the group blamed some government officials for manipulating things in the interest of some selfish individuals. They gave the warning at a media briefing just a while ago.
Every effort was made, including letters to the IGP and the chairman of the Security Council, Honorable Ishmael Ashite, to have the Gamanche policy unlocked to allow the Gamanche access to his palace, but we were at it turn frustrated by Honorable Ishmael Ashite, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, and the police. Again, unknown to us, Kelvin Taki had close connections with officialdom and with Ishmael Ashite, the Greater Accra Regional Minister. Adjei Blanson, an old man who is behaving like a small boy. He's 80 plus. And he says he's going to put a Gamanche for us. He's from Malaysia, he's not from Abola. So he's wasting his time. He will join those who went before him with the same tricks. At a point in time when Kintaki Adamalache was invited together with his Yasi to meet the Regional Security Council, we went and met representatives of Kentucky at the offices of the regional administration, who had already had a meeting with RESEC. Without the RESEC, the rebels are powerless and they are nobodies in the Ghana state. We have given every requisite document and information, including an extract of the Gazette of Kentucky Adamalache, to RESEC. But it has turned out, as events unfolded on the 20th October 2017, that RESEC was determined using state power, the police and detachment of the military to install a gun manche for the Ghana people. It shall not happen. They forcibly took the keys to the 2 rooms from me, the Victaki Tommy, drove away all members of the Paramount School Justice from the Gamanche Schoolhouse, and allowed the rebels to perform certain customary rites to purport to install Kentucky in a position they call Gamanche. We have one Gamanche, ni Adamalache. Apart from him, there's no other. We have taken notice.
Expect more on this in our later bulletins. Let's move to the Central Region now, where the police, as the Asin Fosu Divisional Command, have invited the Odiko of Asin Adedientim to help them get the suspect in the alleged defilement of the 4-year-old girl. This follows pressure from the general public and the Central Regional Police Command over the poor handling of the rape case reported to them. The Odiko, as the center of the defilement incident, is alleged to have heard the matter between the victim's parents and the suspect and subsequently exonerated the latter. His conclusions were that the gods of the town do not find the suspect, Kobna, guilty of the allegations being leveled against him. This generated public anger, questioning the authority of the chief in dealing with matters of such nature. Let's get onto the phone now and speak to Joy News' Central Regional Correspondent, Richard Kojo for more. Richard, if you can hear me, when was the Odiko invited, and has he been to see the police already?
Well, the Odiko was invited this morning. You know that yesterday the Regional Police Command took over the matter as directed by the IGP, and so the Asin Fosu Divisional Police Commander and the crime officer were summoned to the Regional Police Headquarters, where the coordinator for Department of Gender and Children Protection, as well as the Dosu Divisional Commander, were also in attendance in this meeting. After that one, the Regional Police Commander announced that they have taken over the investigation of the matter, and so they are doing that one in collaboration with the Asin Fosu Divisional Police. So the police last night mounted a search in the Adedientim area to find the suspect, but they were not successful. This dawn, they were there. But their challenge now is that they've not seen the suspect before, Kabana. They've not seen the suspect before. And so it will take the community members and the Odiko of the town to help in this matter to ensure that they get Kabana to the police so that he will come and write the statement, and then the suspect will be put before court. So as it stands now, the police have beefed up the security people that are currently searching the entire area, Asin Fosu and the Asin Adedientim area. You know the communities that the Adedientim area has Adedientim 1, 2, 3, 4, and they have 4B, 4C. And so it is also mostly a cocoa growing area. And so they are finding it very difficult to get in. And so that is why upon the invitation of the police, the Odiko has reported. And so he is currently with the Asin Fosu Divisional Command and they are interrogating him.
Now, Richard, we understand that sanctions are to be preferred against the investigator at Asin Adedientim for his actions or inactions earlier in this case. Do we have any idea who this investigator is and what sanctions will be preferred against him?
Yes, the name of the investigator we've not been told, but according to the Regional Police Commander, it was a breach of procedure in their policing strategy, because it's a matter such as defilement, as soon as it is reported to the investigator ought to have informed his superiors about the matter that is pending before him so that they can take a decision and they can swing into action immediately. But that was not done, and so that was a breach of their procedure, and that is why the police regional commander says that he is personally going to sanction the police, the investigator. But as to what sanctions are going to be preferred against the investigator, we are yet to know.
Right. Thank you very much, Richard Kojo, for that update from the Central Region. We'll be moving on now, and students and teachers of Adjei Kojo TMA Basic School are pleading with the government and other charity organizations to provide them with basic infrastructure to enhance the quality of education in the school. As it stands now, the only CHPS compound the community has is currently being used by kindergarten pupils. MFA Nancy Jadosi visited the school and has more in this report.
Serving as the only government school in Adjei Kojo, a suburb of Accra, for about 20 years, the school virtually lacks everything a school needs to function effectively.
We don't have toilet facilities and we don't have a place to dump refuse, so we throw refuse everywhere. And also the classroom were not built properly, so when we close, our legs become dirty and all that. And also you don't have a urinal. We don't have water to use, and a lot. And even we need a fence wall too.
Donated by the former mayor of Tema, Isaac Ashayo Damting, to serve as a CHPS compound for residents of Adjei Kojo, the building has now been turned into a classroom for these kindergarten pupils. Just in front of the classroom is this uncompleted septic tank, which teachers have tried covering with this piece of wood to avoid these pupils from falling into the pit. Students with a population of about 2,000 move in and out of the school at any time because they lack a fence to properly enclose them.
The school has no fence wall, you understand, and that makes controlling of the kids extremely difficult. You have children coming in and going out at any time. You cannot control them because there are no fence wall to control. Especially again with the use of the school park, because the school is not fenced, you have everybody literally coming in and out at any time, which affects the tone of the school. You are not able to control the school. You are not able to make sure that the school is sanitized for proper academic activity.
So this is the area where students of the Adjei Kojo TMA 1 and 2 basic school ease themselves. These students have to move from their classrooms to these bushes. Very dangerous to ease themselves because they do not have toilet facilities. This used to be a place of convenience for students of Adjei Kojo, which has been abandoned after members of the community turned it into theirs. This World Bank funded project for the rehabilitation of a toilet facility for the school has stalled with no apparent reason.
We want urinal, washing room. Some of the girls have been sometimes menstruating in the school, so the time the girl spent to go to the house, that girl can use that time to go to the washroom to arrange herself. Even some of the girls have been using polythene bag under their panties.
Right in the middle of the school is a heap of garbage put up by both students and residents of Adjei Kojo.
Outsiders coming to dump refuse here. And what can you do? Sometimes they do it when you have closed and gone. There's nothing you can do about it. And that is where they dump the refuse. The whole public Adjei Kojo community, most of them, this is where they dump their refuse.
Primary 4, 5 and 6 study under this structure due to unavailability of classrooms. Though this 12-unit classroom under construction has been abandoned by the contractor.
In a class, we are about 70 in a class. And when the teacher is teaching, there is we talk a lot. The students talk a lot and it produces heat in the class. So it's not make us pay attention. So when you get enough classrooms, so at least 40 will be in a class. So that there will be space for the teacher to move through.
As if the school's problems are not enough, squatters have also taken over the portions of the school where some live in very dangerous pits in the open. Children in the school have to stand and take their meals because they lack a canteen or a dining hall.
You ask yourself, why? Why is it that the school has been neglected for so long? This is the only government school, for crying out loud. And I believe that we demand a lot from government.
Head teachers, though disturbed, failed to speak to our cameras for fear of being sanctioned by the Ghana Education Service. However, teachers and students are calling on the government and other organizations to come to their help. Nancy Jadosi reporting for Joy News.
Time for a quick break, but so far we brought you a story from the Central Region where police at Asin Fosu Divisional Command have invited the Odikro of Asin Adedientim to help them get the suspect in the alleged defilement of the 4-year-old girl. Also coming in, the police officer involved in the case has been invited to Accra, the capital, to give more information on this issue. Now, still coming up in this bulletin, Chairman of the Volta River Authority, Kweku Awotwe, who is blaming successive governments for their lack of political will to implement tough decisions that will benefit the country in the long term. A lot more stories to tell. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back from that quick break. We just got an update on this defilement saga because information reaching Joy News indicates Central Regional Police, Central Regional Commander of the police have been summoned to Accra to report on the updates on the defilement case of the 4-year-old girl in Asin Adedientim. We'll bring you more on this development in our subsequent bulletins. But in the meantime, we'll talk about other issues because Ghana's debilitating energy crisis will be a thing of the past if government commits to fixing operational and technical challenges at ECG and VRA. That's according to Chairman of the Volta River Authority Managing Board, Kweku Awotwe, who is blaming successive governments for their lack of political will to implement tough decisions that will benefit the country in the long term. Mr. Awotwe believes if Ghana is to overcome the energy situation, it has to fix the management lapses and inefficiencies that are rife at these institutions. Kweku Awotwe has been speaking at a lecture on energy organized by the Ghana at 60 committee here in Accra.
ECG has its own inefficiencies. What we call the technical and commercial losses at ECG are easily exceed 20%. I think the PRC limit is 21. ECG records somewhere between 24 and 25. But when you combine the collection inefficiencies, the total, which is called the total technical, commercial, and collection losses, are close to 40%. International benchmark losses, whether that's in the OECD, countries like India, South America, are closer to 5 and 10 for those two numbers. What does that mean? There is no way ECG can successfully sustain a healthy electricity sector going forward with that level of operational losses, where 40% of what it produces vanishes into thin air. ECG's inefficiencies will not allow the company to successfully pay all the obligations that come due, not just from VRA, but from all the new and upcoming IPPs coming into operation and in the pipeline. And it's good to clear those debts, we must do that, but if we leave those inefficiencies unaddressed, we'll be right back where we started. The fourth issue I will talk about is the high price of natural gas. Price of natural gas in Ghana hovers between $8 to $9 a million BTU. Currently, the West African gas pipeline supplies gas to VRA at just above $8. The Ghana gas price, which other gas producers like E&I fall under, is closer to $9 a million BTU. The final root cause I will talk about is governance and weak institutional barriers. Part of the poor management of our state institutions has to be laid at the door of our own political leaders. We know this, we don't like to talk about it. Successive administrations give orders to the managers of our state institutions who can only say yes, to take actions that may fit a 4-year political cycle, but are inappropriate for the kind of long-term, capital-intensive business that the electricity sector is in. It's this kind of interference that gives rise to many projects I can talk about, but the most recent, which has been in the news, most of you have read and followed, is a project like the Ameri project, brought on stream in 2016. It would not have passed any least cost generation development plan by any system operator. While such projects appear to be meeting some short-term emergencies, Their long-term costs to the Ghanaian public far outweigh any of their perceived benefits.
Now, Chairman of the Volta River Authority Board, Kojo Adjei, has launched a scathing attack on the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, describing it as a body which has turned out a poor outcomes over the years. Mr. Adjei is questioning the technical competences of some persons working as the commission, mandated to provide credible and sustainable utility regulatory regimes that protect stakeholders' interests. You would recall that staff of the commission last month agitated for the removal of the executive secretary over incompetency claims. But Mr. Adjei contends the commission can do better in the energy mix with persons with expertise in utility regulation. He's been speaking at a lecture, Ghana 60 years on lecture on energy.
The second question about the PURC, I think they've done a poor job. In other countries, these commissions are staffed by people who typically have retired, have spent 30 or 40 years in the business, know the industries inside out, and understand the complexities of the business. We have made these populist vehicles to please the people. But most importantly, in my view, they haven't been independent enough. They haven't had the capacity enough to do the work they're supposed to do, which is, very strictly put together a pricing regime that is fair. You will not always please everybody, but it has to be somewhat fair. And if you look through the record, they haven't done a good job. What you'll find as well is that international investors have queried their role, especially in terms of doing what they're supposed to do. And one of the most important things the PURC is supposed to do is implement the automatic adjustment tariff. And if you follow that, you see that they have not done a good job of doing that. So from some very important key markers, I would grade them poorly. And I hope that this government does well to strengthen it and make it as independent as it should be.
Away from issues dealing with energy, and Ashanti Regional Police have arrested a 34-year-old man who has been parading himself as a law lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Michael Asante, also known as Lawyer Asante or Michael Yao Nchibuesiako, has, according to the police, defrauded a number of persons of amounts totaling 748,000 Ghana cedis under the pretext of securing them contracts. Love FM's Kwesi Debra reports.
The fake lawyer also promised to, among other things, to enlist some of his victims into the security services, get them admissions into tertiary institutions and other unspecified jobs. He, however, failed to fulfill his promise and went into hiding until his arrest on 24 October 2017. Police say investigations conducted so far have revealed the suspect also parades himself as a legal consultant. On other occasions, he presents himself to his unsuspecting clients as a travel consultant and a senior state attorney at the Attorney General's office in Kumasi.
During the month of April through to October 2017, he introduced himself to two contractors as a special assistant to the Chief Executive Officer of Ghana National Petroleum Company, GNPC, with a promise that he could secure them contracts to build oil storage tanks for the Tema oil refinery. He then asked the two contractors to pay him an amount of 695,000 Ghana cedis to facilitate the process for them. The two contractors then gave him the said amount, but again he failed to honor his promise and went into hiding. The two mentioned the issue to a national security operative who managed to arrest him at Fomesua in his vehicle and handed him over to the police. Further investigations has revealed that he is not a special assistant to the CEO of GNPC, neither has he gotten any transactions with the Tema oil refinery. He, however, has admitted having collected the said amount from the complainant, but did not give it to anybody at Tema oil refinery, as he told the complainant. In the course of investigations, others having heard of his arrest have reported to the regional CID and complained that suspect Michael Asante, under the same guise, collected various sums of money ranging from 5,000 Ghana cedis to 40,000 Ghana cedis to assist in enlisting them into any of the security services, securing them admissions into the tertiary institutions, and securing them jobs in the ministries and the agencies. Investigations also has revealed that suspect Michael Asante is involved in a series of fraud cases in Accra and in Kumasi.
Investigations also revealed that suspect Michael Asante is involved in a series of fraud cases in Accra and Kumasi and is being prosecuted in the law courts. The police believe they are victims who have fallen prey to his fraudulent activities and are urging them to report to the regional CID to assist in further investigations. Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Debra, Love FM, Kumasi.
That's it for today's bulletin of Joy News today. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com. I'm Daniel Dazi. Many thanks for joining us.